You know, it's different. It's a different animal. Because that gorilla, if you get behind the thing, he's not gonna be like, hey.
They're
Like
domesticated, right? You can feed them.
Oh yeah, I feed the giraffes every time I go.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't ever bite you? They smell too.
They like lick my hands
Aren't their
before.
tongues like sandpaper? Like, aren't they really rough?
Yeah, it's really rough. And they're
Welcome into the Recipe Podcast, Celebrity
tongue.
Secrets to a Successful Life. I'm your host, Chef Charles Carroll. What a great day. What a great show we have here where everybody's talking about the zoos. We're talking about flooding. We're talking about everything that's going on in Houston right now. And mostly the flooding. But before we get started and all that, I just want to say hey to the gang here. Venus, how you doing, brother?
What's up?
Nice and dry, are you, bro?
Yeah, always.
All right. I like your shirt last week better than the one this week.
This
This one's okay though.
shirt.
This thing's pretty ugly.
Yeah. And this.
No, this is like what for me, because now
the snaps are coming back. Is that right, Aaron? The snaps are coming back.
I've never let them go. Because you need to have a situation where you just kind of let's go.
Yeah, cool.
If you get in a fight or something.
Yeah, sure.
So
that's like
You have to take off your shirt.
That's like the New York story with the
You have
puff
to
jacket.
take off your shirt
Remember
to fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the puff jacket you took off before the fight.
Yeah. It's kind of like procedure. You know, I used to think about
What was that
like,
guy's name,
I had
Smelly?
a fight in 7th grade, and I shit you not, neither one of us hesitated. It was time for us to fight.
You have to take off the puff jacket.
No, everybody we both took our shirts off. And I'm like, isn't that weird? It's like a Chinese karate movie or something. We just take our shirts off and we start fighting in the street.
Do your voices
And nobody
line
would
up
ever stop
when
and be
you
like, why are those kids fighting without shirts
smash?
on?
Bam. Do your voices match up when you hit, or are they a little bit delayed?
Wham.
Bobbit, how you doing?
Good.
You all right?
Yeah.
All right, Monica.
Good.
Everything's good. All right, and we have our guest again, and Aaron, are you doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you stayed
Great to be
dry
here.
during all that exciting mess of last week.
I did.
Yeah.
Other than driving back from work, where I had to just gun it through a couple of puddles. But
Spring was a hot mess, huh?
yeah, and driving down 99 Grand Parkway. That's probably the scariest I've ever.
That's crazy.
I mean, I just couldn't see anything. I was just driving, just following the lights.
How much did that suck, right? Because you don't even know what's behind you. It's just water.
And it was
Yeah.
awful. And then I tried opening my window, and I just stuck my head out the driver's window. And then I got blinded by the rain, and so I was like, that's not going to work. So
And you know, all these cars have the parking sensors. So the water was so high, it's like I couldn't figure out how to shut off the beeping. So it was like beep, 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 beep. Like,
oh,
But it's
yeah.
only supposed to beep if you're going backwards, no?
no, this is everywhere around the car.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so
He's got a fancy car.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. But what I'm saying is like, no, if you're gonna pull up and like, let's say you're pulling a car's getting too close, or a person, it's for a person as well. Like,
Yeah, the
if you
sensors.
back up and it's just gonna check
I
what's
even
around.
hate it when my car beeps when I'm backing up.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But you
the
have a
thing-
button on your car. You can just push it, and the fucking thing goes into a shell, right? You have that?
It turns
Like-
into a ball.
Yeah.
I rolled
That's
home.
fucking awesome. I wish I had that.
I was at the mall a few weeks ago, and I was walking across the street to the movies, and I passed through, I don't know which Tesla it was, but whenever you get close to it, it records you. And so, like, the lights flashed on super bright, and we were like, what's going on? We were only within a couple feet of the car because we were about to cross the street. And you, like, go around the car, and you can see the recording of yourself through the window. And it's like, well,
Were
great.
you wearing
now
your
that-
Oh,
shirt?
is it the Model X?
I think so.
Yeah.
I wasn't. It was
No
dark. I couldn't
way.
even really see, but
Isn't that illegal?
I don't.
what?
I mean,
Car
recording
recording your
somebody-
ass? Did
Cops
you
do
Yeah.
it.
flip them off?
Well, everybody
No,
takes
it's
their
just
phone
like-
out. It's the
You
same
should have
thing,
mooned
right?
him, Bobbit.
Everybody takes their phone. It's the same thing.
That's true.
That would have been cool, huh? To moon the Tesla. Jay, how you doing, bro? You all right over there?
Good.
Yeah, you dry and all that from all the storm?
It was a rough trip home, but I made it.
Yeah. And your shit got canceled that night, too. You had a huge setup that night. Yeah.
So what happens there? You still get paid, right?
No.
Really?
Oh, I mean,
Well, I'm going to get paid from the company, but I mean the company I work for, but we're not charging.
Even a percentage?
We're not
Act of God shit?
We're VIP, man. You can't charge us for that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Don't
charging
you
the
dare.
club. I'm not charging the club.
Yeah. Yeah, we were in the same boat. That was a big hot mess. But we'll get into that in a minute. But we need to thank our sponsors real quick. So, Jay, if you can help me with that. Dunkin' Coffee Mills. Dunkin' a super cool guy. They are full service tea and coffee. They have the best tea in the world, Dilma Tea. So make sure you check them out. Aceway Incorporated owner Ricardo. He's an amazing guy, and the attention to detail and service is amazing there. Texas Beef Council. We love them because they love chefs, and they are super supportive of everything we do in the Escoffier School of Culinary Arts. And they have a great online education that you can do online. So Culinary Arts, that's Escoffier School of Culinary Arts. And then we have a new sponsor. My Company Radio, we have a new sponsor. My Company Radio, do you have or work in a company that has between 50 and 20,000 employees or more? That's a lot. How does the top leadership communicate their personalized message with 100% of the employees on a regular basis? The answer is never, because you can never get them in the same room at the same time. So My Company Radio will take your top leadership weekly or bi-monthly message and surround it with inspiration, motivation, employee enrichment, engagement, and recognition, and turn it into an entertaining show, which 100% of your team will get. So check that out. That's MCR. My Company Radio has top consultants that will inspire your team and help improve your employee culture. So do you care about your team? My Company Radio is your answer. Contact them at www.mycompanyradio.com. So there we have it. So super cool. Now that we got that all taken care of and housekeeping is done, and we were talking about the flood a little bit last couple days, and Houston got a little bit wet. By the way, who the fuck names these storms? You must know that, right, Aaron? Who names this?
Well, I know it's alphabetical order, so there's an A, B, C, D.
I want that job.
And a couple years ago, they were like, well, we're only picking white names, so we need to diversify. So then they started picking names that were more like ethnic sounding and stuff like that.
What, Jay?
It used to be only a woman's name.
I remember that.
Why?
Because women are unpredictable, and the storms.
Isn't that
are
the truth?
unpredictable.
Well, it's also Mother Nature, yeah.
Yeah, chaos.
Makes sense.
Good point.
It must have been a long time ago, because there was Andrew, which was like in the 90s. So
No, I remember when it was all women.
Yeah, okay.
It has to be 80s.
Imelda. Imelda.
When was Andrew?
What the fuck's
90.
Imelda? Who came up with
It was
that?
80s then.
Isn't it the person who like saw it coming or whatever?
No. Imelda Marcos. How cool would that be if you when it's like it's Aaron again? You know what I mean? Like you're out in your boat every day. It's like I got a storm coming. You just like always you say it every day.
I don't know, man. I mean, what do you do for work? Well, I name storms. That's what I do. I don't know. Imelda.
Well, because they name like every storm, even if it just putters out, right?
Right. So we're on I.
Right. So it just goes around and then JK, and then I guess they start back with A again.
It's like the lotto.
And
Look,
then,
it's like-
Randomly pick 'em.
but then they retire names, just like you can retire a jersey in
Yeah.
baseball. So once like for example, Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Ike, Hurricane
Katrina
Sandy,
done?
Katrina, those names are retired. You can't
Yeah,
use them
fucking
again.
right, they're retired. Let's hang that banner. Shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was pretty bad. We have a little bit of a video, Monica, just to recap. So any of our YouTubers that want to check out that are in the same state as us, you can check out some of this stuff.
Switch to you.
Harvey
What happened?
Harvey, yeah.
retired, right?
There was a lot of
I think so.
places like in my area
yeah.
that got rain that didn't get it in Harvey.
Here we go. Play that one.
Yeah. No, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Hundreds of cars trapped in water and hundreds of people rescued. Rob Marciano is in Houston with the very latest, and it's a tough time for my hometown. Rob, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Michael. You, of all people, certainly know how vulnerable this city is to flooding. But honestly, this is an event
Michael Strahan.
that would
He
have
was at
flooded
the
any
club,
city. Over 9 inches of rain
couple years
falling
ago.
here. That was an all-time record for any day in
Of course, you
September.
can't record.
It resulted in
You
hundreds
can't
of
report
water
on
rescues,
this unless you're
hundreds of
standing
cars
in the
being
fucking
abandoned by
water.
people.
All right.
There was a fleet
I mean-
of 150 tow trucks that came in last night and swept those cars off
What a
the
hero.
street. But there's obviously still water here after a day that was nothing short of mayhem.
I got to say,
This
though,
morning, officials in Harris County are saying more than 1,000 people here have been
I gotta say,
rescued
they
so
did
far.
clean up the streets
Coast
fast.
Guard helicopter crews medevac
I mean, really.
patients out of the flood zone. Rescuers using everything from airboats, tractors, and dump trucks to pull people and pets to safety.
When you get there and you see rivers of water flowing into these neighborhoods and impacting dozens of homes, it really is a heartbreaking scene.
Guests and employees trapped by rising waters in this Beaumont hotel.
yeah, Beaumont got
Children at
crushed.
some Houston schools were told to shelter in place. It was total chaos on the roadways as parents try to reach their kids in a day that saw as much as
that's what it
9
looked like.
inches of rain. Stalled out cars littering the streets. Police recovering over 200 vehicles. Neighbors lending hands, pushing drivers
All right,
free where they
you shut that
can.
off now. But I mean, how literally we were just talking about a story a minute ago that we were in a meeting. We were literally, and by the way, I wake up in the morning, I have coffee, I watch the news, and it said Beaumont's getting crushed. Okay, this is at 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. Beaumont's getting crushed. It's going out east, and keep an eye on it. We should be okay. We're gonna get some rain today, but keep an eye on it. It's blah blah blah. they fucked that story up 100%. That wasn't anywhere near that. That storm came back around, and then just so within that meeting that we were in, literally within 40 minutes, the city was flooded. I mean, it was that quick.
Yep.
That was crazy. So so Bobby, you didn't make it in. But
No.
you got home like quicker than you normally do, which is insane.
Yeah. Like 45 South was empty. 45 North, that was really,
that was
really bad.
that was jacked up.
They were just stopped. Like they weren't moving at all.
So I live 3 miles from the club. It took me 3.5 hours to get home. I left at 3 o'clock. It took me 3.5 hours to get home, and I parked my car halfway through, and I had to park it at a bar and walk 1.8 miles to get home. And I was walking down the middle of the road because there was nowhere else to walk. There was it was flooded in Vanya. I took Vanya home. Here's my video. Look, right down the middle of the street.
I know they were mad.
But I gotta say, we were fortunate that no. So all right. So, but the cars didn't care because they weren't moving.
Yeah.
And when I went home on Washington, that area there, everything was landlocked, and I-10 was landlocked both ways. You couldn't go either way. So the only road that was on the road I was on. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Jay, was it Hempstead Road that when you go towards
Underpass?
Yeah. That
Always flooded.
yeah, it was flooded but the water was up to the bridge, right? And when you go towards my house, it's the same underpass, the exact same underpass. So there's two. The road V's like this. This underpass, the water was up to the bridge, and this one was dry. And I had no idea. Had that one not been passable, then cars wouldn't. I mean, they weren't moving anyway. But that's the only road in or out there. So that was jacked up. 3.5 hours. Go 3 miles.
That sucks. That's when you start to think about where you bought your house. Honestly, I think about that all the time because I was like, "Oh damn, this is pretty bad. Right close to my house. There's no guarantees. There is no guarantees.
Yeah.
I've been lucky twice now.
We're dry. We always stay dry, and we've always had power. But you better hope that you're home, because if you're not home, you're flooded in. I mean, we're safe, we're dry, but we can't get in or out.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're all good. So
There's a lot of stories about people using kayaks to just go out, have fun.
joy riding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was quite a ride.
Yeah, but the water's filthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about flesh-eating diseases and all that from that.
Did you guys see that one guy who found a fish in like a Whataburger parking lot? You know, on Cross Timbers where that Whataburger is? He found a fish.
Don't tell me you cooked it and ate it.
And he said he was taking it home to eat it.
That's fucking bullshit.
I was like, ew. It's so gross.
Freshwater fish.
Yeah, those look pretty good. This is the best looking meal I've had in a long time. That's pretty bad. The water's nasty, right?
Disgusting.
The bayou,
Yeah.
we in fact, when Vanya and I were crossing the road on the bridge, we saw, of course, obviously it gets deeper as you go down, right? And we're standing on top of the bridge, and this guy on the south side, he decides, I'm gonna go for it, and another car goes behind him, so I'm gonna go for it. So they go to the far left of the road, and the guy in first place, he guns it like you were talking about.
Yeah.
So he's going probably, I don't know, like 25. And he's going, and the guy behind him is like, yeah, I'm with you, right? And then the guy behind him is like, I'm not sure about this, right? So the distance starts going between them, and this he's committed, so he's going. So I said, Vanya, come on, let's cross the street, and we're in the middle of the road anyway, so we could look on the bridge on the other side. And I said, both these guys are gonna get stuck, and you can hear them. And this guy comes out, and he's plowing it, and you can hear the muffler, and the muffler's underwater, and he gets it out, but the other guy gets stuck in there. So.
Oh damn! Because he wasn't committed.
Yeah, he wasn't committed.
I wasn't. That's why I knew I'm not doing it. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's jacked up. I always used to say, and this is the first time I was caught in it, that how do these dumbasses look at you how do you get caught in that? I mean, you're such a dumbass. But now I get it, because when you're driving home and it's landlocked and you can't go anywhere and the water rises, and then you're fucked.
That's
right?
exactly what happens.
Yeah. That's what.
And that happens in the car. That's how quickly it falls. That all of a sudden you don't realize you're on an island. You are.
I mean, literally in 45 minutes, Houston was flooded, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Makes me miss gutters back in New York.
So, Aaron, what's going on in your...
Yeah, I used to hate losing my ball down there. I was like, God bless gutters, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway. What's going on in your world? You hit any kids this week? You had to discipline anybody? Slap them a little bit or anything like that?
No, I've been very calm, collected.
You're sporting your headset differently today. That's pretty cool.
Am I?
Yeah, it's kind of riding it on the front.
Depends on where it sits on your head. Like, I can't find a good spot either.
I just feel very natural like this.
It looks pretty dumb though. That's why I hate. I know mine looks like crap too, but I hate these cameras. It's so. I know that it's like this is now how it has to be.
Yeah.
You got to be able to watch. Just like I'm gonna watch a radio show, but you know who invented that too? Howard Stern, because he had the E channel. Remember? And everybody was yes.
But,
what do you mean?
But that's different because he had to bring girls in and
no,
spit on them and stuff.
Hold on. Yeah, there were plenty of shows where it was just them yapping. It was
okay.
And they edit it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was like they weren't showing it live. So they would edit it, and you would see the reaction shots on the right people.
Oh, I see.
They still do it on the. But he's been doing that for 30 years.
And then like, pig vomit. It was hard on him. I wouldn't let him say half the stuff he wanted to.
No,
say.
This was after. Right? This is when he already
after pig vomit.
Yeah, he had all his clearances.
Yeah.
Satellite radio.
You guys saw the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. No? Oh, you got to see it.
Private Parts?
No.
It's the Howard Stern movie. It's good.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Have you ever listened to Howard Stern?
Like once or twice.
Oh, I used to listen to him religiously when I was in New York.
I was at the debut of that movie where we went in and it was like them in the front and all that. Howard wasn't there. And we went in and then right before the movie started, they were like reach under your seats. And some people had gotten like signed copies. Some people, there were all kinds of swag underneath the theater seat.
Really?
Yeah, it was the premiere. Oh, like most of us got like a card for like another party when it's like Butt Bongo Fiestas or something like that. Something that you wouldn't even go to.
No,
do you guys, have you ever listened to Howard Stern, you guys?
No.
Jay, you have?
But he did that charity benefit for that.
Oh my God.
That Bobbitt guy, remember?
King of Media. What?
Lorena Bobbitt. He did a charity thing to like raise money for the.
Yeah, of course. When the guy's wiener got cut off.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, listen, Howard Stern. Anything that's going on out there, he did it 30 years ago. Like, the guy's the best.
Yeah, King of Media.
Broadcaster. He's the best broadcaster of our generation. I could say that since the 70s, 80s.
My wife gave me his book for Christmas. I got about a third of the way through it, and I started. It's all the interviews.
Yeah.
But he actually comes out a little bit. He's hard on himself about how he interviewed some people.
Yeah.
That I had a legend in my studio, and all I could think about was the next bit to put him on the spot. You know, people like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And some other people that, I had that legend and all I could think about was being a dick.
Yeah. No, he's his biggest critic. That's why he's evolved. Everybody who thinks he was what
Baba
he was.
Baba Booey.
Yeah, he's evolved into like 5 different people over the years.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, that was really. Yeah, you got to watch the movie, girls.
That's a piece of history.
Yeah.
It is now, which is ridiculous. And that guy raised me.
And,
I shit you not. I've been listening to him since I was like 16, 14 years old, whatever.
Yeah, I listened to him
year.
all in New York. Well, I was there for 4 years, but I would listen to him religiously. Funny as shit. But when was that when he got on the? So it was in the late 70s, early 80s, was it? Is it 80s?
Early 80s when people started to get noticing, but late 80s when he got big.
Yeah, so he did a movie on himself, and one of the best lines was NBC. NBC was pissed. They're trying to get him. They want to fire him because he's a pervert, right? But they have him on the station. They want to fire him, but they can't because the damn show is so popular. And so now the top execs are trying to figure out, well, what? Let's do some analytics. What the hell's? Why is this? How is this possible? So this guy comes in and reports and tell me the numbers, and they're up like big time. Listen, that's bullshit. And he says, yeah. How many people listen to him? He said, well, how do you want those stats? And he said, what do you mean? He says, well, 89% of the people who like him listen to him because they can't wait to hear what he says next. He said, what do you mean by that? He says, well, like 60% of the people who don't like him listen to him because they can't wait to hear what he's going to say next.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was no matter if they loved him or hated him, people were still listening to him. And it was, and the people are still with him. Baba Booey and Fred and Robin Quivers.
Yeah,
They're all together. They're all together for 30 friggin' years or whatever.
More. Him and Robin are close to 40 now.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so my whole lifetime.
Yeah, so you guys, that's your homework assignment for the Howard Stern show. I can't believe put in search Howard Stern, see what kind of video can come up. Yeah, he's done some pretty crude stuff in the studio, but then he went really big when he went to Siri Radio, right? I mean,
yeah, to Sirius XM.
Sirius.
Well,
Yeah.
it's called Sirius. Yeah.
Sirius, yeah. Sirius. So yeah, he. I mean, he was the first one to break that, and so they're all excited because before they couldn't swear and cuss and all that stuff. But yeah, what was your favorite skit, Christian, on there?
One of my favorite phony phone calls. My favorite phony phone call. Howard
For the
Stern.
last 2 years of my life, I've been involved in.
Now there's a studio.
Yeah, and that's even a little old right there.
This is his
Oh, that's March 12th.
And he had one of the best.
But they've been on video forever. As a radio show, which
One, two,
when you look at
three.
the picture, you're like, who the hell wants to watch that?
Push that one there, Bubba Booey. The fourth one over. Yeah,
That's an
right
old
there.
one.
Push that one. See what that says.
If you remember, we went
Look
to
at that.
Fred's bachelor party, and at the bachelor party, Fred drank 15 tequilas, maybe 16 at this point,
In a
followed by a beer
2-hour
each time,
period, yeah.
followed by a beer at each time within 2 hours.
I really, even the 16 tequilas would be enough, but 16 beers.
Fred passed out, flat on his face. We thought he was dead, so we told Gary, quickly call the EMS, because we had to get Fred to the hospital.
Right, you thought he was dead.
He was
Fred
bleeding
looks
from
young.
all over. So
Did you ever get down and actually touch Fred when he was in this condition? We
no,
haven't talked about this.
I don't want to touch Fred. No, I've learned that you don't touch someone when they're in that condition.
In other words, you never went near Fred.
Howard's a homophobe.
Absolutely not.
That's all
I know.
wanted to
I've heard every
establish.
article I ever read. Don't touch the body.
It didn't say don't touch the body. You have, if you see somebody drop, you have to determine whether
Yeah.
they're alive
No,
or not.
I did. I was down by him. Did I physically grab his
please, you
head?
didn't.
No, I wasn't
I
going to
didn't
grab his
say
head.
grab
Anyway,
his
you can
head.
say
I
that.
said, did you
Yeah,
take
good-
his
good
pulse?
show. Anyway, that you got to watch that movie. It's pretty cool. True story. All true stories. So, what else we got to talk about, Venus? What else you got? How about the SUV that went in the mall? You guys see this?
No.
This guy was driving in the mall with his SUV. Jay, did you see this? No. You've done this before, though, right? No. Look at him.
Yo, this is not happening right now. What the f?
It's like,
What the f?
smash.
Oh my god.
He's like in. All right, you get the idea.
What the f?
So
I always wondered how they get the cars in the mall.
You know what's so funny? Like now, some people's like personality has to be like their personality, and then their personality while their phone's on video. You know what I mean? Because who else would ever be like, you're that far away from the action, you don't have the camera on, you're like, this can't be happening now. Who acts like that? You know what I mean? Unless you have like, because
Yeah.
it's like somebody's like watching me. It's like I got to make sure I say the right thing.
Commentary, yeah.
that guy, the poor
fucking
guy, he was
annoying.
driving. But really, the story was he was just looking for the food court.
Wow.
No, I'm just-
Did
Yeah,
it say why he did it?
they said that he might have been a little bit disturbed, but yeah, Aaron, have you ever done that? Take a spin on a mall?
No, I tried. I mean, they have the vehicles in there that you can go in and
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
You tried to start them before?
Well, every time we go there, it's like ask for the keys. They all, it's always,
give 'em to you.
it's always fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
So
they used to let you like open it and sit in it, but they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't.
They
No.
did it for the Teslas.
Yeah, you just
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
The
They
doors
let
are
you
open.
test
You just
drive
get right
them,
in.
of course they record
Get
you when
out.
you do it.
Seats
Yeah.
and
Do you test drive it?
You can test drive Teslas.
If you're like 25, I think.
No, but I'm talking about
No,
in the
not
mall.
in the mall.
Oh.
In the mall, you can like get in them
That
and
was-
then like
that was
play
him.
with them and then do all this stuff to them, like the features and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
No,
I
also
got to drive one.
Oh,
the
really?
Tesla.
Yeah.
One of our guys at work, right?
Yeah, I told you the story.
Yeah.
No, Patrick,
Yeah.
my buddy of mine. And when I drove his, it's like that thing is really fast, but it doesn't feel like an engine.
So does he have an electrical deal at his house? He has to plug the thing in it, or what?
Yeah.
How? First of all,
How high is this energy?
why did that guy do that? What was going through his head?
I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy. Maybe he wanted to hurt somebody. We had somebody drive a vehicle right up all the way up to the bush on Sunday. That's what I told you. I mean, through the front gates.
Smashed through them? Or they
Smashed them, broke them both off, clear off. He was going like 45. Up over onto the grass, missed the fountain by like 6 inches on the left side, and got stopped by the bushes. Calmly got out of the car, went right up into the building, and was walking around in his flip flops. And was
inside.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh wow.
He even wandered up to main kitchen.
And he was found in main kitchen. And then the cops are so garbage that after all this thing went down, they had him in the vehicle. He must have been tweaking. I was inside the car. The car was super clean. I was like, this guy doesn't seem like a drunk.
You went in there, got your fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, of course.
You found the culprit.
No, the police. Everybody had already been in there. You know what I mean? The
okay.
police was already in there. But the bottom line is like they had already apprehended him. But they didn't do the simple stuff. It was like find his ID. How about that? So I go inside the car and we see the insurance. Take picture of the insurance for just in case of anything.
Yeah. Fred Loya.
And then I go right, exactly. So I'm like, his key has to be somewhere. Nobody has his key because now they're gonna tow the vehicle. They're gonna go up onto the beautiful grassy knoll with this ridiculous tow truck, and the tow truck doesn't fit wide-wise without knocking a bunch of bush or at least falling into the fountain. So I was like, are we really gonna do this? How can this guy show up and not have a key? It's a car with a key. I go inside and he's lighters everywhere, which I guess means he's a tweaker or something, So he had little lighters everywhere in the car. So because he didn't look drunk, but he was stammering. He was acting like a fool. And do you know that the cops never asked him where any of his stuff was? And it was simple as hell. He had gotten into the building, and so I go to him and he's like, I said, hey man, you had everything in your car or what? No? And I'm like, well, what'd you do? It's like, I left it in that big house. And I said, what were you doing in the big house? He's like, I went, where in the big house? He's like, in the wedding room. This is all he remembered. He's like, I just put it all down. I got there. His reading glasses, his passport, weirdly enough, his license, and his car keys sitting on the fucking... Not one person bothered to go in and actually like comb the area. That's how inexperienced we are to see if some crazy guy comes in. Who's to say he didn't leave a bomb or something like that? To check, the security guard should have been checking every step, like checking with the cameras, like within minutes. They should have been checking on that as soon as the guy was apprehended.
The cops were like, good job, Johnson. We got him.
Right. No, and when I went to the cops, I'm like, here are his keys, here's all his stuff. Because they didn't have any of his information. They were about to take him down to the station without any information. It's like, the guy's driving and you don't even look for the key. Did you try to figure out how did he drive it without a key? Because like I said, you can't drive that car without the key in it.
So you backed up the car off there so they could tow it out?
Correct.
Yeah. Have you been in an accident lately? Fred Loya.
Yeah, you need him there.
Yeah. Have you been involved in an accident
time
with
did that happen?
DWI? Have you been drinking?
8:30.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. 8:39. Yeah.
I was still there.
And within a couple of hours, you couldn't tell if anything happened there.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the
Yeah,
the
they
key.
recover quickly.
We put the arm back on.
That's like the third time
while I was there.
That's like the third time that's happened.
Yeah.
At
But
the club.
this guy hit it square.
Maybe
the
fourth.
Here are the
time.
ends of the two things. He hit it like that.
Almost happened to me today. I was making the turn and I almost went straight into the Bayou Club, like coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a second, private drive, and shoot, you could be talking about me right now. Like, yeah, there's a car driving through the Bayou Club and ran over a horse or whatever.
They keep that closed on a Saturday. That's strange.
No, I think it was open. That's what I'm saying. So like, I thought it was.
Isn't that a
the
weird
street.
entrance, huh?
Yeah,
That place.
I think it's a super cool entrance.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a Bat Cave or something.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Like if Batman would live there if he lived here in Houston.
If he was a member of any club, he would be a member of the.
He would live there, and nobody would know. They'd be like, "Oh, those are the polo grounds back there." It's like, no, there's a club back there too. Or that's Batman's house back there.
Yeah. Well, good on you there for that. We're gonna have to start calling you. And what should we call now? Inspector.
Inspector Gadget.
And Inspector
Gumshoe.
Venus.
No, it's so simple. So anybody who watches those TV shows is like the mistakes they make, and those cops were like, "Oh, we're gonna take him down." It's like, looks like they're gonna have to tow it. And I'm like, these guys are really didn't do any of their homework. 'Cause we were checking the bushes. I told Jose, hey, checking those bushes. Let's look underneath the car. Maybe he threw and stashed the stuff because he was trying to make a break for it. But then when we went back and watched the video, like a couple of days later, he was strolling in there. He strolled right in to the front. I don't know if I should be saying all this, but whatever.
We had a guy smash through the gate and drive all over the golf course.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That must be awesome.
Yeah.
Love
That
to
would
do
be fun.
Just tear up that pristine grass.
In a dune buggy or something.
Yeah, I mean, because we were
Why
out
did
there.
he do it?
He was jacked up on yayo, huh?
I don't know if you're
I
on
never get
something.
to see any of this stuff.
It's such an easy place. It's weird because when you look at it, I remember when I first moved here and I was like, oh, that's got to be Bush's house. You just assume that's George Bush Sr.'s house.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, there's like 150 acres behind it.
I was at a resort in New Hampshire, and one of the apprentices, when I was a chef of the resort, and one of the apprentices decided, or two of them were partying, drinking beers, and then the golf course is up on a mountain. It's gorgeous, picturesque, Donald Ross. And so they're driving along, they're half drunk or drunk all the way, and one of the passenger reaches over and supposedly, allegedly, pushed the steering wheel, and it's a dirt road, and the golf course is right there. I mean, the white stick is right there, and it goes right down. There's a little bit of a banking there, right? And so next thing they know, they're on the golf course. So the other kid said, well, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And then they started spinning, doing donuts and all this shit. And after about the third hole they're on, they realized, maybe this is not good, right? So they get out of the car, and what are we going to do now? So they go to their friend's house. They wash the car off because it was all mud and stuff all over it. Wash the car off and go back and park the car and pretend nothing happened. And of course, the next day, everybody knows it's all going on. So the security goes up in the parking lot, and they look at all the cars, and this one's all nice and clean. They look underneath, and the wheel well, it's like clumps of all this beautiful grass, And it's like, there he is. So, jeez. Yeah, that's what happens. Jay, has that ever happened to you?
What?
Driving on the golf course?
Yeah, I was the guy in that truck that did that.
Yeah. What's the most fucked up thing you've ever done in your life, Jay, that you should have gotten arrested for?
Oh, I don't think we should be asking that.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Anybody?
I'm not even going there.
No.
Yeah, we don't all have pristine histories.
Christian took off your bubble jacket to fight that guy.
That was high school, man. You can't get arrested for that.
What about you, Aaron?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm an imperfect human being.
Wait, did you win, Christian?
Huh? Yeah, absolutely. That one I did. Yeah, if I had to check my jacket.
One?
Yeah, I didn't win them all. Can't win them all. I lost the bad one when I was 19. It was bad. I look like Elephant Man. Oh. You ever seen that movie? I shit you not. You ever look in the mirror and be scared at what you saw?
No.
It's a shitty feeling. Like when you're like, holy shit, is my face ever gonna be back to where it was?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really fucked. Like I'm telling you, it was like because the way it was very quick. It was like
Did it hurt a lot?
Straight concussion. No, it was nummy until like 2 days later. It's like when you work out, it's like takes 2 days for it to really hurt. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, holy crap. I was like, I can't even look at my face. I felt bad. Put it this way. I felt bad for my family that they had to look at my face. Because it
Did
probably
they get mad at you for
made them
fighting?
feel bad. My dad got mad at me for losing.
Really?
Yeah.
You lost? I thought you
That's
said
how
you
my
won.
dad is.
No, that's the one with the triple fat goose.
Oh.
That guy came looking for me.
Oh, I see.
No, this was one where I was like, this guy was like, just really wanted to fight me, but he's a roider. Not everybody, a lot of people did roids back then. That wasn't my thing. But I was like, it's okay, I'll fight this dude. But I was winning the boxing part of it, and then he charged me. This is where I learned that MMA shit is for real. And he grabbed me. This is like right around the time where the Royce Gracie, the original UFC, started. And he came and just grabbed me, and he was a football player, so I knew how to tackle. And apparently I went airborne, and then down in my back of my head hit the concrete. Dude. So I was concussed after that. So he's really like just beating like a rat. He was like kicking a rag doll. But those people pulled it off me. But his rage, he had gotten so many licks on me. My head was like a bruised orange or something.
What about the one that you won? How many licks did it take to put the guy out?
How do you know when to stop?
Oh, I hit this guy till his braces were hanging off his teeth. My fist was all jabbed up, like jacked up, and then I got suspended 2 days for fighting in front of school, even though he came looking for me to fight me. That's the way life works, man.
Bob, any fights in your world? Oh, look at her.
Not.
Tell us
not
about it.
with other people, like outside of family. Like I grew up with boys, so like my 2 cousins and my older brother. You're just sitting on the couch, and then you just get pimp slapped in the face, and then it's on.
Yeah.
So.
And then you tear them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was spicy.
How about you, Monica?
I grew up with guys too. All my guy cousins. I hit one of them with the hammer.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I hit his toe and like his nail like fell off.
Really? Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have hurt like hell.
I don't know.
It's pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mom was mad.
You ever watch bum fights?
I used to watch that.
Yeah, there was a guy that would go. He would go
Monica,
into like
pull it up. Bum
go
fights.
to bum fight and get these bums to fight each other and,
Yeah.
and give them a sandwich after whatever. And then the guy who was on Dr. Phil one day, right? No, he was on Dr. Phil like one day, and Dr. Phil was like, Dr. Phil was like, all right, next guest is whatever bum fights guy comes in, and they show a couple of videos, and Dr. Phil's looking at it like, what the hell? And so then the guest starts walking in. The guy hey, Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil's like, get off my stage, get off, get. And I've never seen that happen before. The guest is like walking in, and like next bum fight, and the guy walks in. Dr. Phil's like, just go, get out.
Like he didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't know what bum fights. He's like, this is awful. This is what's wrong with our, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Well,
so staged.
He did that. Yeah,
that guy made it into MMA. The one who was
Dr. Phil.
He died. No, the main homeless guy who was such a good fighter ended up going to
Kimbo,
MMA.
right?
Kimbo, yeah.
Oh,
Kimbo Slice. He's dead.
Yeah. There's shit tons of stuff on Kimbo.
Yeah.
All the content.
Yeah, that's where they got him first. Is on Bum
From bum fight. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he was homeless, dude.
It's the American dream, right? I mean,
absolutely.
He's street fighting everywhere, and there's all kinds of stuff on.
There's early fights of him just ripping guys up that were bigger than him.
So I thought Kimbo was like trained or something. Like
yeah, he trained after.
Jiu-jitsu or
After,
something.
yeah.
He might have been some kind of thing because he was ripped always.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some fights where he's getting his ass kicked too.
Kimbo Slice?
Yeah. Look, Monica, look up Kimbo.
There's always somebody. There's always somebody who could whip your ass. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's like Tyson says it. What does he say? That's
he's a genius, by the way. I think he's like
You always have
a
plan
genius.
until somebody punches you in the.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The plan's good up until somebody punches you in the face, and then that's that's the truth.
Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Right,
Yeah.
there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes. That was it.
Yeah.
But on his show, he just sits there in a hot box and he just once he kicks in, his weed kicks in about halfway, he starts he's like
He's
Confucius.
got a podcast. He's got a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Do you see any there with him street fighting, not in a ring, organized ring?
I can't believe he's dead.
Is he dead?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
How did he die?
I don't know.
Died
Huh?
June 6, 2016.
Damn, it's been a few years.
I didn't know that. Anything on street fighting? What about you, Jay? Get any fights?
He was built kind of like Tyson.
Yeah? What happened? Huh?
That's a long story.
What happened, Jay?
Y'all ready? Go, Bird! Finish that! Get already.
Bare-fisted, huh?
Fuck that, nigga, that's funny! Run it, Bird! Fuck that motherfucker! All you got is... Come on, hit me!
See, you can tell they're not really trained.
You got me, it's over!
He's giving him a hit.
Look at him. He's letting him hit him.
Come on, finish that! Stop playing, nigga!
Oh man, that's so great.
Maybe we should try that when we get outside.
So Jay, you don't want nothing you want to share with it?
Just like you started me. That would be awesome.
Aaron, ever been in any fights?
No. I mean, back in high school, there was an AOL Messenger and stuff, and so I was messaging with some guys, and basically, long story short, sometimes I run my mouth a little bit, and, I forget what I said, like.
It'd be knowing you would be getting a text fight. Yeah.
It was like
Never
we would stay up all night, like on these chat rooms, and then I forget what I said, like, yeah, well, I'm gonna kick your ass or something like that, and then next thing you know, I'm going to some party, and my mom dropped me off, so I was like, whatever, sophomore. My mom had dropped me off there, and then like as she's backing out, this guy comes up to me like smiling, like, "Hey man, you want to fight?" Like, and he was a lot taller than me. And
He's like, "Sure. What's your name?" No.
Yeah, I'd psych myself up all day. Like I went to the gym and lifted weights, and then I got like a roll of quarters that I was gonna keep in my fist just to like.
Wow.
And then
Put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, well, and then people were like trying to break it up or whatever, and so it never really.
Never started.
It never started. So I got you kind of
all
like
that work for nothing.
Well, it's kind of like a duel. You got to show up to the duel, and you turn around and you just kind of shoot over the guy's head. When you're a duel, you're not actually trying to kill each other. You're just trying to like save face. Like, hey, we showed up. We didn't really try to kill each other. And that type of thing. But speaking of duel, that night. That night we had like an airsoft. Those little airsoft guns that shoot these little plastic.
Yeah.
And one guy shot me in the eye with them. And I don't think it was on purpose. I mean, we're like all shooting each other, and it's all fun and games.
Until someone gets hurt.
Right, and my dad had always said, like, don't ever play with those BB guns or whatever, because when you get hit with one, it's gonna find your eye. It'll always hit you in the eye. And sure enough, I'm just like running around, and just like one just comes and just, and it's like in slow motion. I just see this little yellow bead coming.
Damn.
And then it just.
Your dad called that, huh?
No, he called it years ago.
Never.
Did you get to close your eyelid or no?
I think so. I think my eye was closed when it hit.
Oh, thank God.
And it was just kind of like blunt, and it was, it I mean, it hurt like hell.
Yeah.
And I was up all night, like I just couldn't. They gave me some Tylenol or whatever, and it was miserable. I was supposed to be auditioning for a play. I think it was Pippin. The Bob Fosse play, and it was like a musical, and they needed boys, and I had auditioned for it, and for the audition, like I sang some song from like Slim Thug or something.
Oh, let's hear a bit.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, come on. Let's hear a little bit of it. You remember the song? Give us a little clip.
What was something like? Make way for ESG, my homies crawling. In there, the boss hogging. Driving Bentleys. And like the lady there, the accompanist, during my audition, she was there on the piano. And
you turned into like a Broadway song.
Obviously, you won the part, right?
Yeah, she was like, and the guy before me had like done something from like Cats or something, and so she was like, and the accompanist, you just show her the music. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing something, whatever, Cats, and so she played, and the guy was singing, and then they were like, you're in, whatever. And then I go up there, and I'm like, I won't be using an accompanist today. And she's like, well, would you at least need I was like, yeah, give me an F, like a middle F. And she's like, ding ding, and I'm like, doop. And then I go there. But the girl, the choreographer who was there, like really talented, she just couldn't stop laughing. And the director of the play was like, that's the first time I've seen that girl smile like that. I've never seen her like that happy. Like the whole time she was just like, during the audition, she was like taking notes and stuff. And then when I got up there, she couldn't stop. And so they gave me a role.
Of course.
And then I got shot in the eye, and then I just like basically didn't show up for the first rehearsal, and that was, which is why like now any chance I get to go see like a high school play or something, it's like, what could have been. In fact, actually last year I was in a play. I acted in a play.
He
last
was
year.
a French play.
That's what
I wish I could have gone.
Because when I make my website, you know how you have like chef, writer, speaker. I'm gonna do like French teacher, actor, something like
wine
that.
Wine guy,
yeah.
podcaster,
right?
Yeah, all kinds of shit on
like,
there.
Like,
chef,
yeah, exactly.
Chef, yeah. Salad guy,
yeah. I can put that.
Yeah.
And so. I mean, well, this play was in French though, and it was like for the
bonjour.
And in fact, if you Google it, the theater company that we were using, it's called TBH, Talento Bilingue. It's like a Mexican theater company in Houston, East downtown, like by Navigation, like the Ninfas and all that. And they let this little French group that I was in do our plays over there. But now I think they're going out of business because the guy who was in charge of it. I forget his name.
Got in a fight.
No, he wasn't paying their taxes or something. So they were like a nonprofit, and so now they lost their nonprofit status, and it's like a I wouldn't say ancient, but it's like this old Hispanic theater in East downtown that a lot of people really like. They do a lot of events there and stuff. And the mayor was like, we're gonna save this theater. Hispanic culture is number one in my priorities, or whatever. And everyone's like, yeah, of course, this is important because we have I don't know, dances and whatnot that they do there. But
yeah, he's almost done that, mayor, huh? He's almost
who?
The mayor.
Yeah, he's fixed all the potholes. That was like really why we got him.
Not the one that Christian went over. Yeah. Well, good on you for that, man. But you missed it though. You missed the audition, and you won the audition. You missed the play.
Yeah. I mean that's a real shame, and it was and they would have put me in all this like red makeup, and we were like, I don't know. When I saw the play, I was like, well, maybe it's better I wasn't in it because
I was in a fight by default when I was in high school. I was playing football, and we went up to so we got done the football game. We were all out partying, and we were playing our big rival game. Like both towns empty out when this happens. It's like one of the oldest football rivals in the country. And so for some freaking reason, I was hanging out with some guys that I probably shouldn't have been hanging out with, and we got in the car. They were all drinking out. I might have had one beer because I was focused on being an athlete at the time. And so we decided we're going to go up to L.A., which is where where we're going to play this game next week. And they had a bonfire, and one of the people, there's 6 people in the car. One of the people in the car had a friend at our rival's bonfire, and we're going to go there, and like we're going to be cool and drinking. And these 2 towns hate each other, right? So it's not a good idea. So it's all dirt road, and it's up on a dirt road hill, and we parked the car below, so it's like maybe 80 yards away, down below. Go up to the bonfire, and then within 4 or 5 minutes, they realize that we're from St. Johnsbury. So St. Johnsbury and L.A. and Lindenville. So so they find out, and all of a sudden, and everybody up there is 3 sheets to the wind already. So they start walking towards us, and a couple of bullies start saying, "Which one of you guys from St. J?" And they started beating the shit out of them. So I grabbed one guy, I grabbed another. Come on, we're out of here. So there's 3 of us, and there's 3 of the other guys. I don't know where they're at. And they said, "Fuck that, we're gonna stay in." I said, "Bullshit." I said, "We're leaving." So we all go run down the hill. We're being chased by, I don't know, but maybe 50 or 60 people. So we get down there and we get in the car. And it's just the 3 of us sitting in the back seat, right? And I'm in the middle. And we're waiting for the driver to show up, waiting for it. So now we got 5 people, and now we're still waiting for the driver. And all of a sudden we look out, and he's getting the shit kicked out of him by about 4 people. I said, "Fuck this, guys. Come on. We're not gonna. You
gotta help.
This is not gonna be good. This is not gonna end well. But we got to go out and save this guy." So I get out. We all get out, and we start pushing people away. And we're just trying to stop the fight, and like being very aggressive, like stop the fucking fight, So we get him, we almost get him back in the car, and we're almost ready to take, and they ripped him back out again. He was beaten up pretty good. They smashed the window on the right hand side, and the guy that was next to me got his nose broke. So we went back out again and grabbed him, throw him in the car, and I'd end up driving, and he's laying across the front of us. It was like some kind of movie.
Yeah.
And we took off. So I didn't get hurt or anything like that, but 2 of the guys in the car, the driver got fucked up bad.
Sounds like The Outsiders or something.
Yeah, and the guy in the back got his nose broke, and they broke the window of the car, and it was his dad's car, and they kicked and smashed they with their feet on the back panels of it. They dented the fuck out of the thing. The car was trashed. So.
Sounds like The Outsiders big time.
Warriors.
I like that book.
The Outsiders? Yeah, that's a good one.
So we were watching that Kimbo video a minute ago, and we were talking about Chappelle last week. So the N-word. Why is it that all black people have the license to use that word and nobody else can?
It depends which ones you're talking about.
Best one ever. Best one ever. You got that one.
I mean, Alex for 200? No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but not only that, but whenever someone does, like anybody other than a black person uses that word, it's like the worst thing in the world.
It depends how you use it.
I don't think it does. I think just saying it, you're in trouble.
Do you have an A or an ER?
Yeah, that matters. It's the ER, no matter how you say it. It's not okay.
It's the whole concept of taking it back. You know what I mean? So for example, say you're part of this group that gets, let's say, the short end of the stick, right? And so your people call you racial epithets or whatever. Well, you start using the word with each other, and that basically makes it your word now. You see? So in other words, it's like, oh, okay, well now it started off as this was like an insult to us, and this was like dehumanizing us, but now we're going to use the word to empower ourselves. It's sort of like in X-Men, there's Bishop, and whenever you attacked him with like a superpower or whatever, he would absorb that power and then use it against you, right? Like you shoot him with the laser or whatever, then he absorbed the laser and shoot it back to you. But then Wolverine was like, try to absorb this, and he takes out his like little Wolverine things, and anyways. So in conclusion,
thanks for giving it away, dude.
So in conclusion, it's more about like taking it back, but
it makes sense though, because like here in Houston, Mexicans, when they talk to each other, if one Mexican's been here like 1 year longer than the other, he's dogging the other guy, calling him whatever. So like that banter will become, you know what I mean? Like that'll be I hear that banter all the time.
So it's all on.
It's like, and then it doesn't even matter where you're from. It's just Hispanics with Hispanics. Like, it just gets.
Is that true, Bobbit? Bobbit's Mexican.
Yeah, but
it's Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
So, but so it's all about seniority. So you get an argument. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's not that. You don't have the right to use that word towards a person.
Person of color.
Between themselves.
Yeah.
Because usually when white people use it, they use it in a bad way.
Because it's seen very negative to them. A white person uses it.
Who is the god of words? Well, I'm just asking. I mean, why?
If you were asking.
But so one community can use it upside down and sideways in any which way, any way they want. And as soon as
they can even call you that, right?
What? But you can't call them that.
Yeah. They can call you all the names you want, but it doesn't matter. You can't. You know, it's an insult.
It's like I think the Netflix with the
I have
Netflix CEO.
I have a problem with it. I have the problem with it.
I don't think about it. It's like there's so many words. Like just use the ones you should, and don't use the ones you shouldn't.
Well,
there's a ton of words, you know.
It's one of those things. Like if you use it confidently.
Well,
I feel like you just know when it's okay to, like, you know, like you're in the right.
You look like you was trying to get the courage up. You need a drink, man, or what?
No, I'm just saying.
So next time I'm in my office, I use that word. Well, Aaron said I'm pretty sure I was using it confidently. So
Gilbert would.
No, I don't know. I still have a problem.
Do you remember when you'd get drunk and you get really annoyed and I try to like box you? I just had a flash in my head of you and I slap boxing. Like kind of aggressively too.
Yeah, in the wine cellar.
Yeah.
I remember you take your watch off and then.
That's true.
Well, because I used to work out with Mike House.
Yeah.
And then you're like, come on, you're the only person in this guy. Because I was the only person in the department who actually worked out, but yet I was also the weakest guy there too, right? When it came to like moving boxes and whatnot. And so yeah, there were a couple times where we
slap box on it.
Scrap it out.
Yeah.
I think
but
my
like
last
for
day,
fun or because like you got mad at him.
Well, there was like a little tension building up, and,
Yeah, just to let some steam off.
It was kind of like
you can't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Working there is like being in the Navy or something. Like you get drunk, you get into fights. You know what I mean? It's like, and you're on this like small like. You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, really. Like when you're out there.
Would you fight like right now?
It's still the same.
Like, would you still fight?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Hell, no problem.
What's the point of fighting?
I don't like it, but I'm saying if I got challenged, like if something happened, like, and I used to get like where I was like, I'm gonna get out of the car and fight. But
So if your kid got in fights, would you get mad?
It depends on the situation. If
they lost.
No, if he I'm not like my dad that way. If he defended himself or she defended herself because they were being like physically like threatened, you know what? If I probably would train the kid for that.
What if they were the bully?
Oh, that's different.
Well, you and Jay almost got in a fight one night.
No.
Twos for Tuesdays.
No.
Yeah, I remember that night.
No, that was all love.
Yeah, you came up on him in the car. And
that routine in the parking lot, we have that down to a science.
Probably the best fight scene I've ever seen was on that show Vice Principals.
That's such a good. That's such a good movie.
There's the guy with the roid rage. He's working out, and then the guy goes and beats him. Oh, he's playing his music too loud. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he puts on a brass knuckle and just knocks him out. But they're back. That crew. They have a new show.
Amazing. Such a good show.
The Righteous Gemstones.
The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah,
you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Hilarious.
So good.
Hilarious.
It's so the sister. Unbelievable. I don't know where they got that actress from.
She was in Vice Principals too. She was the one that shot him.
Oh, you're right.
The crazy teacher.
She's
right?
incredible. You got to see.
What's the name of the show?
The Righteous Gemstones.
HBO.
But first they had Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
Right. That was his first show, which was like about a minor league baseball player.
I never watched HBO at all.
And remember Pineapple Express?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's the guy in Pineapple Express that has like the neck brace on and stuff. He never dies. You remember, right? God, he was good.
Some quality
He's
television.
Danny McBride. That guy's hilarious.
Danny McBride. But Walton Goggins, the other guy, I saw him at Comic-Con. I went there last year. And there was like people waiting in line to see Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, people waiting in line to see all these people. And then this poor guy, Walton Goggins, was sitting there by himself, and nobody was going up to him to get his autograph or anything. It was like he wasn't even there. And so I was like, look, I didn't pay, because you have to pay money to go and get the guy's autograph, and you take a picture with them. And they're all there, like all the people from X-Men and Transformers, and all these different actors are there. And people, these nerds, they show up, and they're like, I want to get a picture with so-and-so. Right. And And so I was like, well, let me go say hi to this guy. And I was like, I didn't pay. And they're like, don't worry, just go talk to him for a little bit. And so I went and talked to him about vice principals and the show. And it's the first time, I don't know if I've ever met like an actor that I really liked before like that, you know. And
what was he like?
Yeah,
totally different, probably.
Yeah, no, he seemed like he was the same guy. Like he was like smiling and laughing and appreciated that I went up there and I was quoting some lines from the show. Like there's a part where his wife, because his wife's this Korean woman and vice principals, and her mother's living with them and he hates her, and this guy's like pure evil. He's an evil guy. and there's a part where
he wants to be he's the vice principal. He wants to be principal.
Right. Like the whole show is like this Machiavellian thing. These guys are like trying to find a way to become principal, whoever they have to kill, whatever they have to do it, right? And they're destroying lives, burning down houses. They're like to become principal of this school. And
It's not serious.
yeah,
it's so good.
And there's a part, and so for example, like he's kind of a cowardly guy. So even though he hates his mother-in-law, he doesn't say anything to her. He just spits in her tea from time to time, right? and same thing when he gets into this fight, he just goes up to the guy and just when the guy's not looking, just hits him with a brass knuckle or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And so there was a scene where his wife is like mad at him and pours wine on his shoes, and he's like, "My Billy Reed's, my Billy Reed's." You know? So, because there's that store, that Billy Reed store over there on West High. But
It's good. It's so good.
yeah, so when I saw him, that's what I said. I was like, "My Billy Reed."
It's so funny, man.
Oh shit! Well, I think we're getting pretty late here. Time flies, huh? When you're having fun. So yeah, I think we're. Anything else you guys want to share while we're right here? We miss your dad, by the way. How's your dad doing?
Yeah, he's doing well.
We miss him bad. Dude.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
He loved working with you guys. The only thing,
he's our IT guy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He was.
They're all looking like it's like
Steven, yeah.
Yeah, we miss him big time, man. We miss him fucking desperately.
Yeah. Well, what he wanted to do was
full time. You want a full time gig?
Well, so there are two things. So one, he wanted to go back to India to visit his parents and make sure they were okay, because you think he sees his parents about every 10 years or so, and or every 15 years or whatever. And so he went back to India, and they were living in this like little shack in Bombay, like in the outskirts of Bombay. But now that little shack is like in the middle of, it's kind of like anything else, right?
Yeah, sure.
Now it's like in the middle of downtown almost. Like the city's expanded so much, and so I think they're able to like, all right, we can sell this little plot and have enough to kind of retire on. And so he was just making sure they're okay, checking on his siblings over there, visiting some people, and he wanted to take like a couple months to do that. And so I think that's one reason why he left, because he's like, all right, I just want to like leave and then come back. And so then he came back, and then he was a contractor working for like a couple different companies.
Yeah. Is he back in Houston now?
Yeah, he's back in Houston working for someplace in the Galleria, like I said, contractor type thing. But
man, every time he came into the office, I would try. I love your dad. When he comes in, I would try to make him laugh. That was my that was my thing.
Yeah.
You were there, right, Bobbit? So that was my goal, is to make a funny and see if I can get your dad to, because he doesn't laugh. I mean, when he's on, at least
he can, yeah.
Yeah, when he's at the club, he doesn't laugh. And if I can get a smile out of him, or a little bit of a smirk for him, or he'll kind of have a little bit of a chuckle, then I achieved my goal. So that was every time he came in, I tried to get him a little bit.
There was one like really bad story. I don't know if this would be embarrassing for you.
No, that's it. This
like
podcast.
this already.
Yeah.
Okay. Chef was getting like all these weird like things in your calendar from like I don't know where they came from, but it was like they would
Populate themselves or something.
Yeah, like they would schedule themselves in his calendar, and then it would be like some weird website, like inappropriate or whatever, that would have the link in there, and we couldn't get it to go away. And one time it was me, Chef, and Chris in the office, and and you were so frustrated about it, and you're like, I can't get this out. They keep coming in here, and we had already talked to your dad about it a couple times. And so I wanted to delete it, but I accidentally clicked it.
Yeah, clicked on
it.
it.
was so bad.
Yeah, she was on there. It's like, well, what the fuck is that? That's so strange. And Bob says, no, don't. And she pushes it. Oh my god.
And it was a video?
I don't know what it was. It's just a link or something.
But it was just like, just try and get it off the screen. But your dad came in too to try and fix it. And when we had to explain what happened, it was just so awkward. And he was just like, You know?
I know Chris was dying.
Oh shit! Yeah. We miss your dad, man. He was a good guy. But all right, well, listen. So next week, do we have a chef in here next week?
Chef Rosh wanted to come in.
Yeah, and remind me again, she's a celebrity. I think she's a celebrity. Yeah. I hope she's not listening to this show. Anyway. Yeah. She's a celebrity chef. She was on some kind of
Food Network.
Yeah, she's on Food Network.
I like that Trenza chef that I worked for a little bit.
Oh yeah, we got to
Susie.
talk about her. Susie, she's a joke.
We should get her on, yeah.
Get her on.
Like the funniest thing ever. She had that spot in the West Ave right on top
Susie Jimenez.
Susie Jimenez, yeah, Trenza, yeah. And so I was there to buy wine, and when I showed up in there, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be fun because, like, I was just looking at the numbers and they didn't add up. Like I was looking at the rent for the place, and I was like, all right, if you want to just cover rent, it's gonna take us like the 11th of the month is when we're gonna break even on rent. And we would have to be packed. Like the restaurant would have to be packed all the time. And the food was like Mexican Indian fusion.
Oh my God.
And which if you really know what you're doing, I guess that can be really good. But here it was like
you know the spot at West Ave. That's the second floor.
That? That's not her. That's
her.
That's Chef Rush that is coming on next week.
She won Chopped.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna come in studio.
Where's she work? Where's she live? Houston?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, she's Houstonian. Well, anyway, all right. Well, so we'll have her in for. So we'll have 2 shows next week. All right. And by the way, all listeners out there, this is an unplugged. So go to the Recipe Celebrity Secrets as well. Go listen to those shows because there's 2 different podcasts. So we have the Recipe Unplugged, which is this show, and also go to the Recipe Celebrity Secrets and listen to all those shows. We have some really cool guests on there. So there's 2 different podcasts. Download and subscribe and rate and review both of those shows for us. So Bob at Venus, Jay, Monica, and Aaron, thanks for coming in. Thanks for making things happen. And also our sponsors again, Dunkin' Coffee, Aceway, Texas Beef Council, Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, and My Company Radio. Thank you guys for trusting us with the show, and we will see you next time. Remember, make an impact on someone's life today. See you next time.